Here is 1 hour of Dave Chapelle destroying arrogant people, starting with the Twitter dwellers that tried to cancel Dave.
David Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men. What the does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you men. In fact, what could be manlier than another guy in the ass?
And later addressing how he actually felt.
I would support anybody's right to be whoever they feel like they are inside. I'm your ally in that. However, my question is, to what degree do I have to participate in your self-image? Is it fair that I have to change my whole pronoun game up for this motherfucker?
In another instance, Dave recalled an encounter that would later spark massive backlash from the LGBTQ+ community.
And there was a few eccentric types, one of which was a very wealthy man that happened to be wearing a dress. This is a tranny or drag queen, perhaps. This is definitely a man.
And Dave's story only got more detailed.
And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, but I knew he had too much. It's like this, he's like, he looked sick, and all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know whether it looked like some kind of gay CPR, there was fanning and shit.
As Dave's story reached its climax, he exposed the gap between what he saw and what he was told to say.
And I went over there, all I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. She is fine. I said, fine. Sorry, guys. I was just worried because she looks terrible. She just fell off the bench. Appears that her is popping out of her dress.
But Dave wasn't just exhausted with trans people's shenanigans. He also had a special message for the whole alphabet community on this next special.
You think I hate gay people, and what you're really seeing is that I am jealous of gay people. Oh, I'm jealous. I'm not the only black person that feels this way. We blacks, we look at the gay community and we go, God damn it, look how well that movement is going.
But he only doubled down moments later.
I can't help but feel like if slaves had baby oil and booty shorts, we might have been free 100 years sooner, you know what I mean?
Later in the show, Dave began talking about DaBaby's infamous 2021 controversy.
DaBaby was the #1 streaming artist until about a couple weeks ago. He took a nasty spill on stage and said some wild stuff about the LGBTQ community during a concert in Florida. Now, you know I go hard in the paint, but even I saw that was like, God damn, DaBaby.
Driving home a point about woke stupidity shortly after.
Oh, this is true. Google it. DaBaby shot and killed a Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
Just like Dave ripped into the hypocrisy of woke people, he also ripped into the hypocrisy of activists who called themselves something they weren't.
It's like that white black that's in the news all the time. Rachel Dolezal.
But he didn't stop at just calling her out.
And I always wanted to meet her just so I could understand. I just wanted to have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes and call her to her face. The talking about, I identify black. That is trans talk, ladies. Stop biting. Stop biting.
On top of that, he highlighted her baseless claims.
There's a big difference between her and a trans. The difference between her and a trans is I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Then they cut their off. That's all the proof I need. I've never seen somebody just throw their away. Don't need it.
And also exposed her for her phoniness.
She didn't even change her name. Didn't even change her name. Her name is Rachel. I can't believe in that name. If you want my support, you're gonna have to change your name to the blackest shit I've ever heard. You're gonna have to change your name to Draymond Green.
Ending the bit with one final joke to bury the activist 6 feet deep.
I don't know a blacker name than that. That shit is black on paper. If you type Draymond Green into Airbnb, that shit will log off automatically.
While Dave spared no mercy for the stupidity of Rachel Dolezal, he took the destruction up a notch when he targeted a community that kept getting comedians in trouble.
But I can't say the word. And she said, because, David, you are not gay. I said, well, Renee, I'm not a either.
Turns out that N-word comparison was just Dave's setup for calling out comedy's real censors.
But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people.
And while roasting them, he revealed which section of the community has the most problem with him.
I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's. But the T's hate my f***ing guts. And I don't blame them. It's not their fault, it's mine. I can't stop telling jokes about these.
Dave then flipped the script by revealing what he saw behind the unified LGBTQ+ front.
You know, you hear all those letters together all the time, LBGT, LBGT, and you think it's just one big movement. It's not. All those letters are their own movement. They just travel in the same car together.
As he started putting all of the woke movements on Spotlight, his first target ended up being the gays.
My guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads.
When Dave was shifting his sights to lesbians and bisexuals, he silenced a woke audience member that was getting a little too excited.
Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. And the only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. That's right, there you go. Everybody scream out when you hear your letter.
And with the G's and L's finished, it was time to take the B's to
If
task.
it's one thing that the L's and the G's agree on, is that the B's are f***ing gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the back seat like, yeah, man, I'll f*** anybody in this car. What's going on, man?
Finally, Dave arrived at who he thought was the biggest problem.
Sitting next to the B's, all the way in the back seat by themselves, looking out the window. That's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's.
And with the T's in sight, he spared them no expense.
Anything the T's say gets on everybody's nerves. And then the T's don't even say anything bad. Could you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states now. You just shut the f*** up so we can get where we're going.
But that wasn't the only time Dave made fun of trans people with his jokes, because his next special got equally explosive after he recalled a conversation with his comedian friend, Norm Macdonald.
I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, and I had to pretend this was Andy Kaufman all afternoon. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
While Dave used a story to just get his point across about trans people, he put homosexuals on even higher heat while talking about an encounter that almost turned into a fight.
I was in a bar in Austin with my wife. It was during COVID, and a woman came to our table, and she was maskless. And this came over, no mask, all H words. Hi, how are you? Droplets was coming out of his face.
After that, Dave was ready to throw hands.
I ran right over there. I said, I pointed right in the camera. I said, you're doing this to me?
Until he made a shocking discovery.
And the dude was shocked that I said it. He said, oh. And when he did like this, I seen all his fingernails was painted, and I realized, like, uh-oh.
But Dave immediately regretted his decision.
I call everybody a But that's not a right thing to do if they're gay. And now I was in trouble. And not only that, the motherfucker was huge. He stood up. He was towering over a big, white, corn-fed, Texas homosexual. This nigga ready to fight.
But as the story came to its conclusion, Dave turned the story into a build-up for an epic joke.
And then, right when you think we would fight, guess what he did? He picked up his phone and he called the police. This thing I'm describing is a major issue that I have with that community. Gay people are minorities until they need to be white again.
But while he took shots at the gay community this time, Dave didn't spare woke celebrities either.
I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, it, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck.
And he didn't stop there.
You know, sometimes I just want to read some stats. I don't know why you're gonna cram some man in the middle of the sports page like this.
While roasting her, Dave even sneaked in a self-deprecating joke to keep things light.
But I wasn't saying anything like Caitlyn Jenner's a bad person. I'm not mad at her for doing it. Not even mad at Sports Illustrated. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm probably just mad at myself. You understand? Because deep down, I know that I am not strong enough to not look at those pictures.
And before moving on, he gave the celebrity a warning.
So Caitlyn, goddamn it, if you go through with this thing, you better go hard or go home.
But before he ended the show, he told the trans community what he really thought of them.
Do you have a problem with transgender people? And the answer is absolutely not. The f you guys think I am? I don't understand all the choices that people make. But I do understand that life is hard and that those types of choices do not disqualify you from a life with dignity and happiness and safety in it.
But no matter how much he clarified his stance, Dave's jokes kept triggering the woke crowd, to the point that one of them escalated things to a whole new level.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history.
But Dave spared no time turning the serious situation into more material.
Thank God that was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped.
And despite getting attacked, Dave had the last laugh in the face of the woke community.
It was a trans man.
Dave obliterated the guy who physically assaulted him. But when he got accused of verbal assault himself, he took his destruction to a whole new level.
Could I possibly be saying that would make these think I hate women? So you know what I did? I Googled the dictionary definition of a feminist just to make sure I was talking about the right thing.
But Dave soon flipped the script on them using their own definition.
Webster's defines a feminist as a human being that believes in equal rights for women. I was shocked that that's what that meant. Because by that definition, I would consider myself a feminist.
And he masterfully turned the discovery into material as well.
All these years, I thought it meant frumpy dyke. Well, that's who's always talking, to be some chick in overalls. Men are trying to us. Not you, please.
Later, Dave shared the list of all the communities that have a problem with him.
What is a woman? Now listen, women get mad at me. Gay people get mad at me. Lesbians get mad at me. But I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is true. These transgenders, these want me dead.
But despite the risk of getting canceled, Dave still took the trans community to the cleaners.
And I gotta tell you, I'm very worried about it. Every time I come out on stage, I be scared. I be looking around the crowd, searching for knuckles and Adam's apples to see where the threats might be coming from.
Finishing his set by obliterating the absurdity of pronouns.
A came up to me on the street the other day. He said, "Careful, Dave, they after you." I said, "What? One they or many theys?"
When the closer went viral, however, Dave's live show had to be canceled due to his trans jokes, leading him to dim the spotlight on them in his next special, The Dreamers.
Now, if you guys came here to this show tonight thinking that I'm gonna make fun of those people again, you've come to the wrong show. I'm not with those people anymore. It wasn't worth the trouble. I ain't saying about trans people. Maybe 3 or 4 times a night, but that is it.
But since he couldn't joke about trans people, Dave settled on another target instead.
And you want to know why I'm tired of talking about them? Because these people acted like I needed them to be funny. Well, that's ridiculous. I don't need you. I got a whole new angle. You guys will never see this coming. I ain't doing trans jokes no more. You know what I'm gonna do tonight? Tonight, I'm doing all handicap jokes.
And Dave instantly went all in.
Well, they're not as organized as the gays. And I love punching down. There's probably a handicap in the back right now, because that's where they usually make them sit. I came here to laugh at transgender people. I didn't know this was gonna make jokes about us. Come on, y'all, let's get the f up out of here.
Soon, Dave tried to amend things with the trans community.
To be honest with you, I've been trying to repair my relationship with the transgender community, because I don't want them to think that I don't like them. And you know how I've been repairing it? I wrote a play. I did, because I know that gays love plays.
Little did anyone know, however, that it was just a setup for Dave's final bomb.
It's a very sad play, but it's moving. It's about a black transgender woman whose pronoun is sadly, it's a tearjerker. At the end of the play, she dies of loneliness because white liberals don't know how to speak to her.
And despite the woke crowd constantly trying to cancel him, Dave's ruthless trans jokes continued again in his next special, Sticks and Stones.
Say LeBron James changed his gender. You know what I mean? Okay, can he stay in the NBA, or, because he's a woman, does he have to go to the WNBA where he will score 840 points a game?
And following that, Dave ended the gender argument once and for all.
What does it actually mean to be equal? Like, if women are actually equal to men, then there would be no WNBA, would there? You would just be good enough to play in the NBA with us. Or, here's another idea that's gonna be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
But Dave also had some advice for the Me Too crowd.
I'm sorry, ladies, I got a Me Too headache. Y'all is killing me right now. It's really tough to watch what's going on. You know, ladies, I said it in my last special, and I got in a lot of trouble for this. I told you were right. But the way you're going about it is not going to work.
Still on Me Too, Dave pointed out how absurd Louis C.K.'s allegations were.
Louis C.K. was a very good friend of mine before he died in that terrible masturbation accident. And it was his room. You read the story. He was masturbating in his own room. That's where you're supposed to masturbate. And then he said, hey, everybody, I'm gonna pull my dick out. Nobody ran for the door or nothing like that. They all just kind of hung out like, I wonder if this guy's serious.
But before he moved on, Dave dropped one last reality check.
He didn't do anything that you can call the police for. I dare to try. Call the police on him. Hello, police? Yes, I am on the other line with comedian Louis C.K., and I think that he is masturbating while I'm on the phone. You know what the police are gonna say in Atlanta? Well, what are you guys talking about?
Just like Dave dismantled his sexism allegations in the special, he also did the same with his racism allegations in an interview with Conan.
I am not making fun of the way that white people talk. I am parodying a simple aspect of the white speech pattern.
It all started when Conan asked Dave his New Year's resolution.
Dave, you know, we all reminisced at the top of the show about our New Year's resolutions. Have you made any? Have you made any promises for the new year?
Yes, and this is a big one. A big one for me. I'm going to change my style of comedy. I have been offensive to too many people.
But Dave was forced to explain to the woke crowd that his comedy wasn't racist.
Sometimes I hear my act, and I might do a white voice.
Part of your act. Part of your act.
That's right. I'll do a white character.
Right.
And it might sound a little like this, but when I do those characters, I am not making fun of the way that white people talk. I am parodying a simple aspect of the white speech pattern. That is the absence of rhythm in it.
And before the interview was over, Dave clarified everything with a final jab.
Now, it's the same way you might hear a white comedian impersonate a black guy. Now, how's he gonna sound? Say, my man, what's happening? Now, I do not get mad, Conan.
Right.
I can see how to a white guy, a black guy might actually sound like that. Sing-songy, musical. Show me what you're working with. And one is not better than the other.
While Dave was clear with his take on racism, he was completely confused by the LGBTQ community's pronouns in this next special.
Stuart educates me about this movement, you know what I mean? I didn't even know about it. The is the Q. Does that even make sense, Q?
And Dave was in no mood to play the alphabet game.
Turns out Q is like the vowels. That is sometimes why. It's for gay dudes that don't really know they're gay. You know what I mean? I'm just sucking these to pass the time.
But Dave's jokes slowly pointed out how some communities are treated better than others.
I was like, how the are transgender people beating black people in the discrimination Olympics? I know black dudes in Brooklyn, hard street motherfuckers, that wear high heels just to feel safe.
And next in his sights was his favorite community again.
Transgenders are gangsters. I used to do business with a transgender in Hollywood. She walk in there, newly minted woman, high heels, purse.
But Dave still took shots below the belt.
Reach in the purse and pull her old out and throw it on the table. Let's talk business, gentlemen. If your best friend pitched that to you, you'd be horrified.
And before his set finished, he dropped one last bomb.
Let's go to the hospital and cut our off and make out of them. Can't we just get matching jackets or tattoos or something? Sure, that's what you want to do? There's only one way to find out.
Just like he exposed the absurdity of the LGBTQ community, he also called out the pointlessness of racism decades earlier in his 1993 special.
New York City in Washington Square Park, they got these two big trees where they used to hang criminals back in the old days. But they would hang white people and black people on different trees. Like that's gonna hurt our feelings, you know. Like you're gonna see a bunch of black people marching, we want to be hung on the same trees as you.
His old takes on racism went unopposed, unlike his trans jokes, which would land him in trouble once again.
I don't know why or how everybody got this goddamn sensitive. You know who hates me the most? The transgender community. Yeah, these motherfuckers. I mean, I didn't realize how bad it was. These motherfuckers. I was really mad about that last Netflix special.
And Dave gave the entire woke community a reality check.
My problem has never been with transgender people. I just feel like these things should not be discussed in front of the blacks. It's fucking insulting, all this talk about how these people feel inside. Since when has America given a how any of us feel inside?
After that, Dave started coming up with some theories.
And I cannot shake this awful suspicion that the only reason everybody is talking about transgenders is because white men want to do it.
And it didn't take long for him to prove them right.
If it was just women that felt that way, or black dudes and Mexican dudes being like, hey y'all, we feel like girls inside, they'd be like, shut up, no one asked you how you felt. It reeks of white privilege. You never asked yourself why it was easier for Bruce Jenner to change his gender than it was for Cassius Clay to change his name?
But while Dave constantly makes the trans community the butt of his jokes, this next stand-up with Shane proves that he takes shots at both sides.
All right, this guy I'm bringing on stage is so funny, he got canceled at the beginning of his career. Please welcome from almost Saturday Night Live, Shane Gillis. Shane, you once did a joke that I love, and I hate making requests. I saw you do a joke about Donald Trump getting shot.
But Shane's joke was one that aged like fine wine.
No. I said, of all the presidents, I think it's fair to say Donald Trump would be the funniest one to see get shot. Just because he'd be in the middle of a speech talking shit. Just, you're gay.
And it only got better.
The shooter would be coming out and be like, sit down, get down. What a loser, get down, sit down. But just the noise he would make when he got hit, even if you love Donald Trump, it would be funny. As soon as he got hit, he'd be like, ah!
Nevertheless, the woke crowd still trolled him after getting COVID, and Dave silenced them once and for all on his Netflix special, Redemption Song.
You see that, Dave Chapelle? That's why we stay inside where it's safe, and we never try anything. Well, enjoy yourselves, motherfucker, because I'm better now.
It all started when Dave was discussing how he got COVID.
When a hero stumbles, well, the cowards rejoice. Nothing feels better to a coward than to watch a brave guy fall. Now, you guys might have seen in the news that I caught coronavirus recently, and then I did. Whoops.
And while the majority of his fans were concerned,
And when I said I had the coronavirus, the overwhelming majority of people wished me well. Said, we hope you get better. Take care of yourself. We don't want anything bad to happen to you.
the Cancel Dave crowd wasn't so pleased.
But there was a faction of people, the cowards, who said, you see that, Dave Chapelle? That's why we stay inside where it's safe, and we never try anything. Well, enjoy yourselves, motherfucker, because I'm better now.
While Dave silenced a small section of his haters in the special, he humiliated the entirety of San Francisco and this next show with gay jokes.
Thanks for coming out, and thanks for making us feel comfortable in the gayest place on earth. You guys got Disney World jealous out this motherfucker.
And Dave kept pushing the roast pedal on the entire city.
Man, I didn't really think it was that gay at first. I was like, what is everybody? Because when I was coming out here, everyone was like, man, that place is really gay. So what the f is everybody talking about? It's not so gay. And then I wandered into that Castro. God dang, I said, this is America's right here. This is deep.
Later, Dave made an interesting claim.
From now on, I smoke weed exclusively with white people. Calm down, motherfuckers. You win by default. You got good weed conversation. All white people talk about when they get high is other times that they got high.
But just when everyone thought they were over, Dave's gay jokes popped up again.
Every time white dudes pass out around each other, they always do some borderline gay when the guy's asleep. Frank fell asleep, so he stuck a carrot in his and put shaving cream on his like, why, motherfucker? Why'd you do that to a friend of yours? He trusted you enough to sleep around you, gonna put a carrot in his ass?
And before he finished, Dave did one last hilarious mimicry.
I tell you right now, if I put a carrot in a black dude's ass, will kill you when he wakes up for some shit. That is an automatic death sentence on the street. I thought y'all was friends, baby. What happened? He was drinking, and I fell asleep at his house, and while I was sleeping, right? I'm just gonna kill that mother, all right? That's all you need to know. Carrot.
While Dave was just joking about black people pranking each other, his joke came too close to life when he thought he saw the most messed up prank in television history.
Chris was involved in what we blacks might even consider a goddamn 9/11. Chris got slapped in the face at the Oscars by Will Smith, which was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. In fact, if you watch it live on television like I did, when it happened, I thought it was fake.
To confirm if it was real or a bad director's cut, Dave did his own test.
I did, and I wasn't sure, so you know what I did? I waited, because unlike you, I know Chris. I waited like 30, 40 minutes, as long as it would take him to get to another party, and I called him on FaceTime, and he picked up. As soon as he picked up, he said, you was the only I'd answer the phone for.
But the result of his Hollywood experiment hit him harder than the slap itself.
Apparently, Obama and Oprah, everybody had called this see if everything was all right. And I thought it was fake. I didn't know. So I asked him, I go, well, you know. He said, what? I said, did it hurt? He said, yes, it hurt. And then I knew that it was real.
Calling out the real criminal of the night, Dave explained what triggered him more than the slap.
And I wasn't just offended that he got slapped. That was only half of it. The real offensive part was that after he slapped him, this Will just sat down and enjoyed the rest of his evening. It was crazy. It was just... The fuck is this?
And just like he publicly warned Chris, Dave gave Will a final warning on the consequences that he will not let slide.
And people would ask me all the time. They'd say, Dave, what would you do if you were Chris Rock and Will Smith slapped you in the face? And to this day, the answer is the same. Well, I don't know what I would have done, but I do know now what Will Smith would not have done. And that is enjoy the rest of his evening.
But while Will's disrespectful smack was from a moment of anger, this next rapper invited himself into Dave's scope for his genuine hatred toward an ethnic group.
He said, I can say anti-Semitic things, and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Adidas dropped that immediately.
The German war tale began when Dave was invited on SNL and started his skit with a strange message.
Thank you very much for being here. Before I start tonight, I just wanted to read a brief statement that I prepared. I denounce anti-Semitism in all its forms, and I stand with my friends in the Jewish community.
But not long after, Dave's random message turned into a warning with flashing lights.
And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time. And early in my career, I learned that there are two words in the English language that you should never say together in sequence. And those words are the and juice.
And even Kanye couldn't run away from Dave's allied artillery.
Vaguely, I remember it started with a tweet, strange tweet. It was like, I'm feeling a little sleepy. I'm gonna give me some rest, but when I wake up, I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And then he just went to bed.
Even I wonder, though, how deep was Hitler 2.0 buried after Chapelle's final headshot?
I was up all night worried. What is he gonna do to the Jews? Kanye woke up from that nap. We went right to work. He said, I can say anti-Semitic things, and Adidas can't drop me. Now what? Adidas dropped that immediately.
Kanye's disrespect was mostly messed up words, but it was only half as bad as this next producer, who literally destroyed lives with his power.
Harvey Weinstein's probably the first person that I ever looked at a photograph of and was like, yeah, he I'm not sure this motherfucker has a choice. Not a handsome man, not a lot of meat and extra skin on his face.
Not stopping there, Dave produced a facial reality check for the predatory producer.
Yeah, he's ugly. You know the sad part is, he's done so well in life, he probably doesn't know he's ugly. You know, when you're good looking, everybody will tell you, oh, you look wonderful, you're so great looking. And when you're ugly, you gotta figure that out for yourself.
Even mid-roast, though, Dave still found time to call out Hollywood's pretty privilege.
A lot of putting clues together through the years. Why am I not getting in the club? I got all the right shit going on. If it was Brad Pitt doing that shit, you wouldn't have heard a peep. The girl would just come back down like, I got the part.
And Dave offered solidarity to Harvey's survivors in a way only he can get away with.
And yet, it is important that I acknowledge, ladies, you are absolutely right. There you go. This could happen to any of us. It could happen to me. I can see that. I see myself showing up. Hi, I'm here for my 3 a.m. with Mr. Weinstein.
But Dave's roleplay / mockery started getting a little too intense.
Hey, Harvey, I got your text. I'm here to talk about the script. Seems like it's gonna be hard to read in candlelight, but I guess I could try. Could you imagine if he was in a business meeting and a mother pulled their out? In the middle of the meeting, I'd be like, yo, my man, this is the most unprofessional I've ever seen.
With his ending plot twist, Dave cut not only Harvey, but also another producer's dignity short.
Just let me finish, Dave Chapelle. I'll put you in all 3 Lord of the Rings. Hurry up, Nick. I have other meetings tonight. I have a 4:30 a.m. at Brett Ratner's house.
Dave exposed Hollywood's disgusting abusers with zero hesitation. But when accusers tried to get their 2 minutes of fame by sullying the king of pop's name, Dave had no mercy going after them as well.
It's funny for black dudes to see white people go through this because this is how it always is for us. All my heroes is either murdered by the government or registered offenders. Do it, like Michael Jackson. Remember when they said all that about Michael Jackson? They never proved anything till his dying day.
And Dave's victim blaming was as subtle as a moonwalk.
One time I watched a documentary about it. They were talking about all the shit Michael Jackson allegedly did. And as they were saying all these allegations, they started showing pictures of his home, the Neverland Ranch. You ever seen Michael Jackson's house on television? Well, the short of it is, there's a lot of things for kids to do with that place.
Strangely enough, Dave found the most unusual evidence for the smooth criminal's innocence.
I saw the whole thing, exotic animals and Ferris wheels and merry-go-rounds. And the more they showed it, the more certain I was that I don't think Michael Jackson did any of those things they said he did. His house didn't look sick.
And Dave quickly clarified that Michael's invitation to the kids wasn't to his bedroom, but to his inventions instead.
It didn't look like he was trying to f kids. It looked like he was just trying to impress them, like this Jay-Z for kids. Like he just walking through his house. This is my cotton candy machine. It makes 3 tons of cotton candy a day. You can have all the cotton candy you want. This closet is filled with nothing but custom-made karate slippers.
Still mocking, Dave painted a version of the kids that HBO never published.
And them kids was like, man, you are all right, mister. This is fantastic, man. We had you all wrong. All wrong? What? I don't understand. What do you mean? Huh? Oh, well, you know, man, we thought it was going to be the usual.
On his closing beat, though, Dave dropped a line harder than the climax on Thriller.
You can have us come over and give us some wine cooler and, you know, suck our dicks. What? Suck your... you fat kids. Somebody trying to suck your... trying to show you a better life.
Michael Jackson earned every award he got, unlike this next celebrity whose award win was so controversial that Dave had to step in with cold hard facts. And let me tell you, facts hurt the Trigger team hard.
Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit. She's better than all of you.
Dave pulled out one of rap history's GOATs to soundtrack Caitlyn's absurd victory lap.
Never even had a period. Ain't that something? Oh, I'd be mad as shit if I was a woman. I'd be mad if I was me. If I was in a BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for of the Year, Eminem, my man.
Before the cancel choir started screaming, though, Dave started spitting facts for their own defense.
Gender is a fact. This is a fact. Every human being in this room had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on Earth. I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women.
What Caitlyn and her woke warriors did not see coming was Dave's defense transitioning into an attack.
I am just saying that those that they got, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not, but that's like beyond impossible. You know what I mean? It's not blood, that's beet juice.
But while Dave was on the ledge regarding Caitlyn's win, he was definitely sure in his destruction when a heckler called out one of the most despicable names in the music industry.
Okay, R. Kelly is different. I mean, you know, if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna put my money on he probably did that. I'm pretty sure he did that.
But it didn't take long for Dave to turn R. Kelly's sex tape into a diss tape instead.
This guy, R. Kelly, got another tape out now. Can you believe that? This guy makes more tapes than he does music. He's like the DJ Khaled of tapes. Another one. Like, damn, that's a lot of tapes.
When it came to his courtroom defense, though, R. Kelly's own clip transcript read more like a guilt confession.
I've never seen anything like this. The prosecutor in Chicago came out in a press conference and read to the media a transcript of a sex tape. And it was so bad that R. Kelly sounded guilty in the transcripts.
After hearing the tape, however, lawyer Chapelle had some free legal advice for R. Kelly.
It's fucking amazing. 16 times the girl's age was mentioned. Isn't that crazy? This motherfucker's an idiot. He was like, yeah, this is the best 14-year-old I've ever had in my life. And she was like, you like this 14-year-old? Like, oh yeah, I love this 14. I'm like, man, you need to shut the fuck up.
Not stopping there, Dave offered some evidence tampering expertise as well.
You gotta give your lawyer something to work with. You're supposed to be on the tape like, this is the best 36-year-old I've ever had in my life. And then your lawyer gonna be like, Your Honor, clearly my client thought that this woman was 36, as he mentioned some 16 times in the tape.
And Dave's last buckshot caught not only R. Kelly, but the entire midlife crisis female group in his crossfire.
They gonna know you lying though, you know what I mean? Everybody knows no such thing as good 36-year-old. It doesn't matter what I say. And if you at home watching this on Netflix, remember, you clicked on my face.
While R. Kelly got torn apart at the lowest point of his life, Dave didn't spare celebrities at their highest point either, and his speech at Kevin Hart's Mark Twain Prize was prime proof.
Kevin is one of the greatest comedians that I've ever seen, and Kevin is one of the greatest men that I've ever known. Hello, Jerry.
Before Kevin could get his prize, though, Dave handed him an Oscar on hypocrisy first.
I know that inside you feel awful sometimes, but I've never seen it on your face. And I've never felt it in your presence. And I am honored to know somebody like you. I really wish you would have come when I won this award. No. This is busy.
Just when everyone thought Dave was moving on, however, he nominated Kevin for the fake friend category.
Any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. And my God, Kevin Hart, you are a very powerful dreamer. I love you so much. And never forget that I said it, because we only get to talk on podcasts.
As if taking shots at Hollywood's golden boy wasn't enough, Dave took the country's golden boy to the cleaners as well.
I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, if you support him or not, any objective person is gonna have to admit that this motherfucker is having a terrible go of it. We've had presidents before that have done bad jobs, but this is worse than a bad job. It's scary to watch.
And Dave kept calling out the unpresidential things our president keeps doing.
I watched Donald Trump in a press conference, And this motherfucker had all the media gathered, and this literally asked the media to their face to stop finding shit out. I was like, yo, this motherfucker is bugging.
But what Dave saw next was a biological phenomenon so strange that even Nat Geo hadn't covered it.
And then, I'm not even making this up, his lips started sweating. His lips. Have you ever seen a motherfucker's lip sweat? What the f is wrong with his lips?
Soon, Dave boarded a flight that seemed to fly off tangent.
It's like if you're on a plane, right? You ever been on a plane? I get scared to fly. I do it all the time. I be scared on there. And sometimes the plane will hit turbulence. And then I get nervous. But I always look at the flight attendant, and she looks calm, and it makes me feel calm.
But before anyone could even tie their seatbelts, Dave crashed the airplane straight into the White House.
But if that lips were sweating, it's terrifying. Like, yo, why are your lips sweating? What do you know? And then, I'm not even making this shit up. This motherfucker grabbed the podium. He goes, you don't know how scary the things I read in my briefings are.
Using his hypothetical son as a prop, Dave blasted Trump's logic until his orange skin turned to red.
I was like, holy shit, man. You ain't supposed to tell us that, bro. That's bad leadership. Even as a parent, you think I'm gonna sit my kids down? Hey, little man, come here real quick. I was gonna holler at you for a second. I'm 3 months behind on the rent, and I am worried.
Burying every celebrity clown 6 feet deep, Dave reserved his most brutal roast for the circus itself, the same one that tricked him into signing away his own show.
2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I called Lauren Michaels, and I tell him, okay, I'll do it. I'll do Saturday Night Live on election night, and the day I made that phone call, the day I committed to it, it gets announced that Netflix is streaming Chapelle's show. HBO Max is streaming it too.
With zero hesitation, Dave tore the mask off Hollywood's favorite con.
Before Chapelle's show was at Comedy Central, I pitched that show to HBO. I told them what I wanted to do. Now, these are executives. All they have to do is say, yeah, we'll take it, or no, thank you, we won't. But they didn't say either of those things.
And Dave's expose train was just picking up speed.
They went too far. They said, literally, what do we need you for? That's what they told me, as they kicked me out of the office. What do we need you for? And here we are, all these years later, and they're streaming the very show that I was pitching to them.
But now it was Dave's turn to put the execs on trial and prosecute their fraud.
So I'm asking them, what do you need me for? People think I made a lot of money for Chapelle's show. When I left that show, I never got paid. They didn't have to pay me because I signed the contract.
For his audience, however, Dave only had one easy question.
But is that right? I found out that these people were streaming my work, and they never had to ask me, or they never had to tell me. Perfectly legal, because I signed the contract. But is that right? I didn't think so either.
With his rant reaching the finish line, Dave warned his audience with a lethal call-out.
If you are streaming that show, you're fencing stolen goods. They stole that from me. They just took it. And I'm not up here trying to tell you guys that I believe that Comedy Central gave me a raw deal just because I'm black. I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster.
And on his finale, Dave teamed up with his arch nemesis to take down the greater evil.
It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it fucks, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
Not stopping at taking down the industry, Dave increased his blast radius to go after the entire country for how woke it's getting.
It's too hard to entertain a country whose ears are so brittle. Everything you say upsets somebody.
And Dave knew where the woke pandemic started from.
You know, I can remember when it all started. It was when I was doing Chapelle show. I used to do the show, and then on the weekends I do like concerts and shit like that. So I'm doing a concert, and there was a couple in the front row, beautiful couple. The wife was obviously Asian. You could see it in her face.
But while the husband's ethnicity was ambiguous, the wife's personality was as clear as day.
The husband, this motherfucker, was mysterious, to say the least. Caramel-colored fella, very nice hair, but it could have been from anywhere. All I knew for sure about this guy was that his wife was a bitch.
When Dave realized the reason behind her hate, however, he instantly tried to make amends.
I could see that in her face, too. No, he was laughing and having a good time, and she was scowling at me at a goddamn comedy show. And then I realized at some point that she was pregnant, and I was smoking on stage. I said, oh my God, that's probably why she's mad. So I started to put my cigarette out.
But Dave would have continued being polite if the woman hadn't put her ego on full display.
Then she hit me with one of them fake non-smoker calls. So I just kept smoking. I thought to myself, bitch, that baby will be fine, relax. All I said, I go, hey, where you guys from anyway? She says, I'm from California.
And Dave wasn't going to let that attitude slide unchecked.
If you are asking my ethnicity, I am Chinese. And her husband was just cool about this. He was like, I'm Mexican, bro. I said, well, I'm sorry if I offended you by asking, but you're a very beautiful couple. And miss, there's no question that you're gonna give birth to the hardest working baby this world has ever seen.
But when she tried to fight back while leaving, Dave sent her off with Chinese fireworks.
She got very upset. She got up to leave immediately. I will never buy one of your DVDs again, Dave Chapelle. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, Chinese people don't buy DVDs.
What should have ended as a walkout, however, turned into an outrage campaign.
And then just 3 days later, this lady sends a fucking letter to my promoter because I was, quote, racist, sensitive to the nature of my interracial marriage. I was like, oh, word, I was.
But Dave had one Asian plot twist that the woman never saw coming.
If she had just done a little bit of research, she would know that I myself am in an interracial marriage. That's right. My wife is Asian too. Surprise, bitch. I'll see you on Thanksgiving.
And that wasn't Dave's first rodeo with a woman who cried wolf to the press, because he talked about another such Karen in his Netflix special, The Closer.
About 6 years ago, there was a lesbian woman that tried to sell a story about me to TMZ. Thank goodness TMZ could see right through the sham of that story. This woman claimed that I beat her up in a nightclub because she was a lesbian. I didn't know you was a woman.
But Dave had a striking plot twist for people who got too comfortable with that story.
Thank God TMZ didn't believe that. Because I did beat the shit out of her, I'm not gonna lie. I came in the club minding my own business, and a woman came up to me. She goes, oh my God, Dave Chapelle. And I was just being reciprocally nice. Hey, miss, how are you?
Span of just a few seconds, however, a fan meet almost turned into a fight.
And all of a sudden, this lesbian fellow stepped between us. Hey, nigga, that's my girl. I said, yo, my man, back up like that. She said, I ain't backing up off shit, nigga. That's my girl. I said, bro, you're gonna have to give me 3 feet like this.
And Dave had no idea that his diffusing words actually added fuel to the fire.
She said, stop calling me a man, motherfucker. I'm a woman. I said, what? And I looked deep in this nigga's cheekbones. I said, oh my God, you are a woman. I unballed my fist immediately.
But Dave made it clear that his hands were rated E for everyone.
I softened my posture so that she would know she's in no danger. I even changed the tone of my voice, sweetly, like a pimp might say. Bitch, I'm about to slap the shit out of you.
And that provoking turned out to be the last straw on the lesbian's back.
I should have done it. She dropped that foot back. Boop. She was in a perfect southpaw stance. Her shoulders were angled correctly. Her head movement was good. I said, oh no! This bitch box is for real.
But Dave Chapelle decided it was time to move on from punchline to punch time.
She threw a wild hook at me, and I saw it coming from yesterday, so I slipped it like this. Let that jab go. You should have seen me go, nigga. I tenderized them tits like chicken cutlets.
But while Dave gave the Karen a beatdown, later in the show, he explained that he supported feminism even when his friends didn't.
Listen, I support the feminist movement. I do, in my own ways. When you guys did the Women's March, I tried to go and support you. And none of my friends would go with me. I asked all the fellas, none of them wanted to go. I tried everything. Come on, y'all, it's gonna be bitch there. They was like, nope.
And while his friends denied, Dave soon hit the jackpot for a rally partner.
So what I did is I called my friend Ange. Ange is a black woman. Matter of fact, she's the only woman that I know personally that pays her ex-husband alimony. And she sounds just like a man when she does it. Fuck that broke motherfucker and all that. She says all that shit.
Response was completely opposite to what the PC police expected.
So I hit Ange up, and I hit her on the text. And all I did, I texted her, I said, Ange, are you going to the Women's March? She said, I hope those white bitches tear gassed.
And Dave had an Oscar-worthy truth bomb for the entire woke movement.
I supported the Me Too movement. I thought that the way they handled that was stupid. They would be like, let's all go to the Golden Globes and wear black dresses.
But Dave's sarcasm kept turning deadlier.
You think Martin Luther King's gonna be like, I want everybody to keep riding the bus, but wear matching outfits. I want everybody to wear crocheted pussy hats so they know we're serious.
And when even Hollywood came after him, Dave hit them with a resume they couldn't match.
All these women actresses came after me. I said, man, fuck y'all too, you canceled. I ain't jerking off to none of your pictures again. They were like, who is he to tell us anything? I'll tell you exactly who I am. I'm the one that got off the bus and left $50 million on the bus and walked.
Unfortunately for Dave, The Closer would turn out to be one of his most successful yet controversial specials, and he saw the worst of the movement when he returned to perform at his high school, Duke Ellington.
And the last time I came back, after The Closer, when the kids were mad at me, I gotta tell you, that was quite the day. All the kids were screaming and yelling. I remember I said to the kids, I go, well, okay, well, what do you guys think I did wrong? And a line formed. These kids said everything about gender and this and that and the other, but they didn't say anything about art. And this is my biggest gripe with this whole controversy with The Closer, that you cannot report on an artist's work and remove artistic nuance from his words.
But Dave knew the script didn't come from classroom chatter.
That day, when I heard those talking points coming out of these children's faces, that really, sincerely hurt me. Because I know those kids didn't come up with those words. I've heard those words before.
And Dave made it crystal clear on why telling him don't only makes him do it louder.
The more you say I can't say something, the more urgent it is for me to say it. It has everything to do with my right, my freedom of artistic expression, that it's not separate from me.
But Dave wasn't finished handing out reality checks, saving an artistic one for the critics of his masterpiece.
3 weeks ago, I saw in the newspaper that a man that was dressed in women's clothing threw a pie at the Mona Lisa and tried to deface it. And it made me laugh because I'm like, it's like The Closer. I said it to the kids that day, if you have a better idea, then express it. And you can beat me.
And when the school offered Dave to name it after him, his response wasn't the yes they were expecting.
So on Friday, I decided that I don't want my name on the school. Hear me out. I'm not gonna say I don't want it. I'm gonna say I'll defer it. Rather than give this theater my name, I would like to give these students my message to them.
But when Dave did reveal the name, it was a billboard for the freedom woke culture tries to censor.
The new name of this theater, the Gerard Carmichael Theater. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. The Theater for Artistic Freedom and Expression.
But while Dave supported expression, the New York Times took it to a whole new level when they covered the Louis C.K. controversy.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are dark times. New York Times said that Louis C.K. jizzed on his own stomach. You know, I've busted a lot of nuts in my day. None of them were newsworthy.
But even while discussing a serious scandal, Dave couldn't control his natural instinct.
All these allegations are terrible. Louis, I shouldn't say this, but his allegation was the only one that made me laugh. It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. You're right. You are right. Jesus Christ, they took everything from Louis.
And it didn't take long for Dave to snap the victim out of her exaggerated delusions.
It might be disproportionate. I can't tell. One lady said, Louis C.K. masturbating in front of me ruined my comedy dreams. Word? Well, then I dare say, madam, you may have never had a dream.
But Dave also revealed that the woke culture may have shadier connections than what most think.
That is a brittle-ass spirit. That shit is too much. It's a grown-ass woman. Oh, it sounds f***ed up. I'm not supposed to say that, but one of these ladies was like, Louis C.K. was masturbating while I was on the phone with him. Bitch, you don't know how to hang up a phone? How the fuck are you going to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams?
And when Dave said it was absurd, he had receipts to back it up.
You gotta man the fuck up, y'all. Remember when I had like this really popular show and I quit? I remember I walked away from $50 million. A lot harder than walking away from Louis' freckled dick.
And later in the show, Dave put the focus on the core of the problem, the Me Too movement.
Like I can't even say the word Me Too anymore. Nick Knight was like, Dave, I'm going to the comedy club. I was like, I am also going to the comedy club. I didn't even know it was happening, but I guess I became like a feminist in the last 3 weeks because I can't watch porn.
But Dave soon shared that he had unfortunately caught the PC virus.
I watch it sometimes, but I can't click on these motherfucking thumbnails, not with those titles. Guy crams young girl in the ass with hard right. I can't click on that. Come on, give me something I can click on. Dude gets sucked off by a midget. Little person, I say to myself.
And with every fake title, Dave's satire only got sharper.
It takes me hours to find one clip. Marginally groomed feminist enjoys consensual sex with vaguely homosexual guy with penis the same color as mine. Click.
But sarcasm aside, Dave shared his real thoughts from a father's perspective.
And ladies, I want you to win this fight. 10 years ago, I might have been scared, but I got a daughter now, so if you win, she wins. At least ideologically, I do. I don't know if you're doing it just right, but what am I to say?
And Dave's message was something everyone could get behind.
I don't think you're wrong. I just think that you can't make a lasting peace this way. You got all the bad guys scared, and that's good. But the minute they're not scared anymore, it will get worse than it was before. Fear does not make lasting peace. Ask black people.
But while it was just Louis C.K. this time, Dave tells the story of an international celebrity who fell victim to the trigger troops in his special, Sticks and Stones.
Celebrity hunting season. Doesn't matter what I say, they're gonna get everybody eventually. Got poor Kevin Hart. Can you imagine such a thing? Kevin Hart, let me tell you something. It was Kevin Hart's dream to host the Oscars.
And as proud as Dave was, he was equally surprised.
That's what he told me. And I remember when he told me, because I was thinking to myself, it's an awfully strange dream for an African American. Kind of nigga dreams of hosting the Oscars. And he did it.
But Kevin's dream was buried by Twitter archaeologists before he even knew what happened.
And he got the job that only one black man before him had had. He was going to host the 80th Oscars. Kevin is precisely 4 tweets shy of being perfect.
And while Dave wanted to talk about it, he was well aware of his location.
10 years ago, Kevin had made some very homophobic comments. Sure, there's a lot of gay men here tonight with their wives.
Dave made sure to insure himself first.
All right, I'll tell you what he said. Okay, Kevin said if his little son was demonstrating or exhibiting homosexual behavior around the house, that he'd chastise him. He'd say, hey, that's gay.
And when Kevin said something even worse, Dave instantly switched teams.
And then he said he would smash a dollhouse over that child's head. A lot of gay friends, and all of them, 100% of them, all have told me fucking horror stories about the shit they had to go through just to be themselves.
But little did the Morale Mafia know that Dave was about to do some friendly fire.
And in all those stories, I gotta say, not one of them has ever mentioned anything like smashing a fucking dollhouse over their head. Because clearly Kevin was joking. You would have to buy this nigga a dollhouse to break it over his head in the first place. Does that sound right? Is anybody gonna do that?
And in one stone, Dave hit both the rainbow bird and the hypocritical bird.
The gay community was upset, and then they put so much pressure on the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences that they went to Kevin and said, if you don't apologize to that community, then you cannot host these Oscars. And then Kevin said, fuck, I quit. Then he went on every talk show in America and apologized for 6 weeks.
For all his roasts, Dave has never turned his back on his community. So when right-wing Candace Owens took a cheap shot at George Floyd, he was ready to swing back.
I was born at 8:46 in the morning, and they killed this nigga in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I watch everything everybody says. I seen Candace Owens try to convince white America, don't worry about it, he's a criminal anyway.
But Dave quickly gave Candace a public funeral for her stupid take.
I don't give a fuck what this did. I can't be personally kick Candace Owens in her stinky pussy. I don't know if it stinks, but I imagine it does. And if I ever find out, I'll let you know for sure. I'll tell like Azealia Banks, I'll tell.
And after her opinions, Dave went after Candace's IQ next.
Candace Owens, that rotten bitch. She's the worst. I can't think of a worse way to make money. She's so articulate, she can tell you how fucking stupid she is precisely. Oh, he was this, he did that, and he's a drug addict.
And for that, Dave gave her a dose of reality that was too bitter for her to swallow.
And he's not a hero, and why does the black community make him a hero? Why do you choose him as a hero? We didn't choose him, you did. They killed him, and that wasn't right, so he's the guy. We're not desperate for heroes in the black community. Any nigga that survives this nightmare is my goddamned hero.
And even if he's jailed for his controversial takes, Dave is completely prepared for the experience.
God forbid I ever go to jail, but if I do, I hope it's in California. Because as soon as the judge sentences me, I'll be like, Your Honor, before you sentence me, I just want the court to know I identify as a woman. Send me to women's jail.
And Dave's feminism wasn't going to stop in a prison yard.
And as soon as I get in there, you know what I'm gonna be doing? I'm a girl just like you, bitch. Come over here and suck this girl I got. Don't make me explain myself. I'm a girl.
But after schooling the inmates, Dave educated the audience next.
I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my life, and I have to share with you. The strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. I am a very powerful dreamer.
And that nugget of wisdom rolled into his take on the Will Smith controversy.
That's why I don't judge between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Because I look at them as fellow dreamers, because I see myself in both of them.
But no matter the discussion, Dave always found room for a quick trans roast.
Men make boundaries, and no man tests more boundaries than a trans man. When I see a fellow dreamer, I give them my utmost respect. I know a dreamer when I see one.
And the next fellow dreamer on his list wore gold, glitter, and zero shame.
And I've met many powerful dreamers in my life. None more powerful than a man who calls himself Little Nas X. I met this nigga at a party. I had no idea who he was.
Dave quickly found himself stunned by Little Nas's sci-fi fashion statement.
Everybody in the party was another dreamer. He was dressed like C-3PO. He was shining. That's Little Nas X. I didn't know who he was. And for some reason, out of all them dreamers, he walked right up to me.
And Dave quickly noted that Little Nas's dreams might be turning into delusions.
He said, I tried to get you in my video. What? I said, what? What video? He just looked at me like, you know what video, and walked away. And I watched him walk away. I said, man, this nigga's having a very powerful dream.
Someone else who was having a powerful dream was this next Karen, who thought randomly heckling was the best way to get Dave's attention.
Huh? I seen your girl bubbling. She's drunk as hell, buddy. Listen, sir, I don't know what she's saying, but just take my advice. Get some water in her, or you're gonna have some dry pussy when you get home. His dick gonna be shaved the fuck up tomorrow.
But while this heckler voiced her disagreement, the next one decided to go full contact with it and got stopped for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history. I am going to kill that. Wait, I gotta see this.
Despite almost going down with the attack, though, Dave came back equally as strong.
Thank God that was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped. It was a trans man.
Arranging an ambulance for the guy, Dave explained why he needed one after their deep discussion.
Get that out of here. Don't do this on the stage. Get him the out of here. And in an ambulance, I grabbed the back of his head. His hair was spongy. I've been doing this 35 years. I just stomped the backstage. Always wanted to do that.
When the guy's motive was revealed, however, it became apparent that Dave's trans joke might not have landed too far off.
A local man accused of attacking Dave Chapelle on stage says he was triggered by the comedian's jokes. Lee spoke from the Twin Towers Correctional Facility saying, I identify as bisexual and I wanted him to know what he said was triggering. I wanted him to know that next time he should consider first running his material by people it could affect.
While the bi-furious assaulter tried to attack Dave himself, this news site tried to tank his esteem, only for Dave to edit the editor himself.
I don't know if you ever saw on TMZ the big headline, Dave Chapelle drunk on stage in Detroit. Well, if you saw it, I wasn't drunk. I had smoked some reefer with some rappers. Yeah.
Rolling another twist into the headline, Dave reminded everyone who holds the lighter.
I don't know if you know anything about hanging out with rappers, but their weed is very strong. Stronger than what I was accustomed to. The article goes on to say I was booed off stage, which is also incorrect. I was booed, I did not leave.
And only one puff blew away Dave's show, like his smoke cloud.
I never had that happen. When I take 2 puffs of weed, I looked at the guy next to me, I was like, I'm gonna bomb, I can feel it. You know, normally when you do a comedy show, you guys don't know what it looks like up here, but he's looking up at you like. That's how the show started. It didn't take long for the faces to switch up, like, what the f?
Little did Dave know, however, that his blow-offs were going to cause his fans to blow up.
I knew I wasn't doing good. I don't remember what I was saying. It just took one person to break the ice. It's a black lady with the Ford Motor shirt on. She stood up suddenly. F you, Dave Chapelle. I said, excuse me? She said, I worked all week for this and this show sucks.
With his entire crowd in pitchforks, Dave crashed down from his high, directly onto his crowd's expectations.
The whole crowd band together and started chanting, we want our money back. We want our money back. I said, oh, shit. I snapped out of it. Good people of Detroit, hear me, you will never get your money back. Yeah.
Disappointed from blowing smoke, Dave decided to help everyone blow bubblegum instead.
I said, I'm like Evel Knievel. I get paid for the attempt. I didn't promise it would be good. This went on for a long time. And then after the show, I felt so bad, I took half of the money from the show, thousands of dollars. I said, I'm gonna give this to charity. You know what I did? I bought $25,000 worth of bubble gum.
Before Detroit could get happy, however, Dave ignited the city like the rest of his joints.
Drove around Detroit and handed it out to the homeless so they could chew it and still be hungry. I was very mad at Detroit that night because not only did I bomb, I had to go back to the very same room the next night and do it all over again.
But while Detroit was mad, they weren't as mad as this next feminist, who took a page out of the bisexual attacker's book and almost got the same treatment as him.
At the time I just saw this shadowy figure charging up the aisle towards me in full fight mode. I was horrified. I said, oh my God, I'm gonna kick this bitch in the face.
The stage rush saga started when Dave was doing his usual dark material.
I was on stage not too long ago. I was in Syracuse, New York. Yeah, for Syracuse, but the show didn't go so good. All because I was talking about Bill Cosby a little bit. Not a little bit, I'll be honest. Talked about him for like maybe 25 minutes.
When that material triggered a Karen, Dave said sorry. Not for his jokes, but for her.
And a woman stood up in the back of the room and she screamed out, you are a f***ing asshole for saying these things. I know. Instantly, I felt, like bad. Not bad about what I was saying. I just felt bad, like, oh, that's too bad she doesn't like the show.
When things took a physical turn, though, the trigger sprinter was this close to being victim 2.0 of the Chapelle stampede.
Not only did she say that, she was rushing the stage. By the time I just saw this shadowy figure charging up the aisle towards me in full fight mode. I was horrified. I said, oh my God, I'm gonna kick this bitch in the face.
With security restraining the stage rager's body, Dave's response silenced her mouth.
Lucky for me, I didn't have to. Security tackled her, but it was a really horrifying scene. A scuffle ensued, and then, finally, she screamed out to me, women suffer. I said, I know.
Echoing his message to the rest of the feminists, Dave let them know he was on their side.
And ladies, I need you to know that I know. Seriously, there's a lot of men in this room that identify themselves as feminists. I would include myself in that. Don't ever forget, we all have mothers and daughters and sisters and wives, and we want to see all these women do well.
And Dave let the justice junkie know how ironic her outrage was.
As this woman was wrestling and screaming at me, I started to take offense. And I'm gonna be honest, race was involved. She was a young white woman, well-intentioned, but it's like not thinking it all the way through. How the f are you going to yell at a black man about discrimination?
Agreeing with all her takes, Dave almost switched to feminism himself until he heard the last line.
She didn't get it. She just kept going. Women suffer. I know. Women suffer. Same team. Women suffer. I know. And this is when she went too far. We suffer just like you. Slow your roll.
Before security took her away, Dave shared one final lesson on suffering.
Suffering is suffering. What's the difference? I said, come on, white woman, you know what it is. You was in on the heist. You just don't like your cut. You suffer. I suffer. You suffer. I suffer. That's how it works. Can't do comparative suffering.
Just like this woke Karen misinterpreted his words for outrage, another blogger from her species did the same to slander Dave.
Recently, I got attacked online by some gay bloggers, and it hurt my feelings. I have no problem with gay people, but I fucking hate bloggers. I'm not saying it because this person was gay. They was just acting like a bitch online. They was like mischaracterizing my jokes, trying to make a point off of me.
Soon, Dave typed out his own heinous allegations, according to the blogger.
Yo, I'm your ally, motherfucker. I'm not trying to stop gay people. I got better shit to do. This motherfucker was saying things to try to get gay people to beat me up. Seriously, he was like, Dave Chappelle's jokes. I don't know how he actually talks. I'm just making his voice up. Dave Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men.
Fact-checking the headline live, Dave explained what he really thought of gay people.
What the fuck does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you meant. In fact, what could be manlier than fucking another guy in the ass? It's the most gangster shit I've ever heard of in my life.
On that same gangster note, Bill shared the story of a classmate who took a sharp left from gang signs to rainbow flags.
Okay, I've been through this before. I had a friend from high school. Now, in high school, this guy was a thug, right? He was a fucking dope boy. He did it all. He's a wild dude. People used to be very scared of him. And then after high school, word on the street was he'd come out the closet. I personally didn't believe it.
With their mini-school reunion, Dave asked the guy a question that quizzed him since high school.
I bring him up because last year, he calls me out of the blue like, yo, what's up, man? I got your number from so-and-so. I heard you're gonna be in New York doing a show. Could I get some tickets? I was like, fuck yeah, get some tickets, man. How you been? And I was about to hang up and I couldn't resist. I was just like, hey, nigga, I heard you was gay. What's going on with that?
But little did Dave know how much he would regret asking that question.
And I wish I didn't ask. Because he sounded like he was dying to talk about that shit. And he had a long story about it. But I was trying to sound supportive, but I didn't really know what to say. So I was just like mumbling throughout this conversation. I was just like, you know, you gay, man. You just gay.
When Dave tried executing an exit strategy, though, it almost put him on the hood hit list.
This went on for a while, and then finally I had to say something like definitive to get him off the phone. And I was like, hey, man, you know what? Don't let people get you down, all right? And the next time someone tries to make you feel bad about yourself, just remember, everybody's funny to somebody. He didn't like that shit.
Fortunately for Dave, he had a plan B ready to fall back on.
He's like, what the f does that mean? I said, huh? He said, you saying I'm funny, motherfucker? I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody's different. He said, you ain't say different, nigga. You said funny. What's so fucking funny about the way I fuck? And I said, hey, man, I feet. He said, what?
Instead of backing off, however, Dave finished his story by doubling down Quentin Tarantino style.
Oh, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I get women to squeeze their feet together like this, and I fuck them right in that little space in their feet. But you can't build a community behind that. There's no flag for us.
Unfortunately for Dave, that wasn't the only time a reporter twisted his punchlines into clickbait, and it happened again when he was sharing why he voted for Hillary in the 2016 election.
I voted for her because I liked what she said vastly better than I liked what he said. But to be honest with you, at that point, that shit was like watching Darth Vader do the I Have a Dream speech.
And Dave let the audience know how it felt choosing the lesser of the two evils.
That bitch is mean as hell. She'd already Karate Kid swept Bernie Sanders' legs from underneath him. Boy, it was hard voting for that shit. It didn't feel bad voting for her, but it didn't feel as good as it should have. She was gonna be our first woman president. They were gonna make coins out of this bitch.
The metaphor Dave gave to his voting process, though, caught everyone off guard.
And somehow she just missed the dunk. Of course she should have beat him. Of course she should have beat him. You know what voting for her felt like? It was bittersweet. It felt like I was lucky enough to eat Halle Berry's pussy.
Not stopping there, Dave perfectly summed up why the Hillary vote smelled so foul.
And whilst I was doing so, she farted in my face, man. And you understand, I'd still do it. But boy, I wish she didn't fart in this great nation's face.
But the real fiasco started when a woke reporter heard the same joke. And this is where the comeback begins.
I voted that day, and then that same day I flew to New York City. That night I was in a comedy club in New York, and I said to an audience almost exactly what I just said to you. And I didn't know that there was a journalist in the room. And this journalist wrote an article.
Unsurprisingly, the next morning hit Dave with an insane headline.
The headline of the article said, Dave Chapelle is an avid Donald Trump supporter. Yeah, I had no idea the paper said that. And you know how I found out? My wife called me from Ohio the next morning in a goddamn panic.
Instead of getting shocked, however, Dave was just relieved it wasn't another cancellation.
David, what the is going on in New York? I said, I'm being good, but what have you heard? The paper is saying that you're a Donald Trump supporter. I was like, whew. I said, don't worry about that, baby.
But when even his own community let him down, Dave gave them a final dunk before moving on.
Nobody in their right mind would believe that. And she said, no, David, people believe it. And then she started reading the comments to me. Oh, they were terrible. All these black people calling me all kinds of Uncle Toms and shit. How am I Uncle Tom? You the one that reads The Observer?
But Dave's biggest betrayal didn't come from his community. It came from the very industry he helped build and then tear down piece by piece in the biggest expose of the decade.
This fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it f***s, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
The grim tale began when Dave was 15 years old and wrote a joke so good that a comedian came asking for it.
After he saw the joke and he said, listen, I got an audition at another comedy club and I was wondering, do you mind if I do that joke? I just want to borrow it. Now, I'm a kid, I don't know any better. I'm like, borrow it? Well, I guess, sure, if it'll help your career.
But teenage Dave's kindness was quickly exploited.
And then weeks later, I was waiting to go on in a comedy club and he went on before me and he did the joke. And after the show, I pulled him aside and I said, hey, man, I don't mind you borrowing my jokes, but you gotta give them back. He goes, let me buy that joke from you for $50.
When Dave tried standing up for his work, however, the world sat him right down.
I said, I can't do it. I want my joke back. I'll never forget this. Remember, I was a 15-year-old child. This guy was a grown man. He stood up over me so I could see how big he was. And he said to me, really? I can just take it.
And Dave explained how his 47-year-old self still hadn't got over his 15-year-old self's trauma.
And he did. I got scared because I was a child. But I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I was 15 years old. I'm 47 now. I think about this guy all the time.
As if a grown man stealing his efforts as a kid wasn't enough, he experienced the same fate as an adult as well.
People think I made a lot of money for Chapelle's show. When I left that show, I never got paid. They didn't have to pay me because I signed the contract. But is that right? I found out that these people were streaming my work and they never had to ask me.
Not stopping at his money, the industry monster ate Dave's identity too.
Tell you the truth, I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chapelle show. But if I do, I can't call it Chapelle Show because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract.
And for all their allegations, Dave gave them a wound to show how bad his own were.
They said I was crazy. What was crazy about it? I just didn't want to do it anymore. They said I smoke. That's impossible. I was a devout Muslim. I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now because you ruined my f***ing life.
Turning to his fans, Dave explained that the only way to kill the monster is to starve it.
I'm begging you, if you ever liked me, if you ever think there was anything worthwhile about me, I'm begging you, please don't watch that show. I'm not asking you to boycott any network. Boycott me. Boycott Chapelle's show. Do not watch it unless they pay me.
Then, addressing the culprits directly, Dave listed his ransom list for the release of his own paycheck.
Go downstairs to your accounting department, open the books, see what that show made, and look at what you paid me. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I am inviting you to come with me.
And to finish them once and for all, Dave dropped one of the coldest lines in comedy history.
And let's fight against that terrible, terrible feeling that you made me feel together. We can fight together and work this thing with Chapelle show out. Or I can just take it. Thank you.
While 2020 Dave was brutally honest with his destruction of the industry, 2006 Dave took it to the next level with his subtle mockery during his interview with Conan.
It just got out of control. Like I was in Africa, and next thing I know, I started hearing all the stories like comedian Dave Chappelle's in a mental institution in South Africa. And I was like, man, I must be losing my mind.
Yeah.
Because I thought this was the beach.
The interview started with Dave recounting his homely trip to Africa.
He disappeared for a while. People were saying, where's Dave? Where's Dave Chappelle? Where's he going? And then it turns out you took a trip to Africa. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And one like they said, so I went to Africa to chill, and I tell you, hear a lot of black people say this, like when you go to Africa, especially your first time, you have this overwhelming feeling like you're home.
And when Conan echoed the industry's allegations, Dave's mockery hit harder than any rumor they spread.
I think I felt that way because there's a McDonald's in the airport.
But soon, Dave also explained that the rumors came with their own benefits.
Everybody calls me crazy, you know, I mean, it was just...
You're hearing on the news things like he's gone crazy, which that didn't sound right, you know? And
well, you know, maybe I know stuff people don't want me to talk about, so
right.
we don't want other people to believe, so they'll call me crazy. Mm-hmm. But it was a weird thing to get called crazy. At first it was scary, and then now I feel like it's liberating.
Before wrapping up, Dave warned the industry that there was nothing holding him back anymore.
I feel free, like I can just say what I want to do what I want. They already call me crazy. I can't hold myself accountable for these things. I'm crazy. I can't be held responsible.
Yeah. What was the reason that you went to Africa? Was there a reason that you decided to go to Africa?
Well, there are a few reasons, but I mean, you know, if you a black dude trying to hide, Africa is a good place.
Not stopping at torching the industry, Dave didn't shy away from grilling one of their legends either on their own SNL monologue.
Hey, Ed. Did you get my sketch?
Oh, yeah.
It's
right.
the one where T.I. has the drive-through gynecology clinic.
But I really get that one.
And for that misunderstanding, Dave dunked on the legend and his legacy too.
You know, I followed your blueprint for my entire career.
Did you?
Yeah, I became the biggest star on television and then I quit.
Hey, you know, I didn't know you could smoke on stage here.
You can't.
And while Dave smoked without hesitation, something you definitely can't do on stage is throw a banana peel at a legend and expect to walk out unscathed.
I was in Santa Fe the other night and a motherfucker threw a banana peel at me. Of course, it was a white person.
And Detective Dave emphasized that this wasn't a crime of passion.
And then not only did he throw a banana peel at me, but it was premeditated. You could tell. You could tell the peel was too brown, you know what I mean? It was like, you didn't eat that banana recently, motherfucker. You had that shit waiting on me. And the whole crowd was white, so it just got instantly creepy, and everyone looked like they were looking at 12 years of slavery.
When the guy was caught, though, Dave warned him of the forbidden banana he himself was going to receive.
Who the fuck does that? And then they arrested the guy, which was... I said, someone's gonna fuck you in the butt in the holding cell, you know that, right? Can't just be throwing banana peels at Dave Chapelle. They're not gonna let you get away with this.
And while the banana was thrown at Dave, it was the guy's dignity that slipped and took a fall.
And the press called me up like, do you have a statement? A statement? For a fucking banana peel? No! I don't have anything to say.
Unfortunately for Dave, it wasn't his first time getting things thrown at him, which he opened up about in another incident later in the show.
And it was wintertime, and it had snowed recently, so there were huge snowdrifts on the street. I was walking with my sister. We were walking and just talking about something, and a car sped around the corner.
While it was a different crime, Dave Holmes's elementary deduction struck again.
Why was this happening? Because I'm black? Because I'm Dave Chapelle? I couldn't tell. Because who the fuck has a snowball in a warm car?
But when life aligned in his favor, Dave took the chance to have a civil conversation.
Then I ran out into the street. Hey, my man, can I just talk to you guys for a second? Come on out for a second. I just want to talk to you. There's 4 young white dudes in the car. They were like, just chill, bro. I just want to talk.
What the racists didn't know was that Dave wanted to turn the civil conversation into civil war.
I didn't want to talk. If you're ever caught in traffic and a black guy starts saying he just want to talk to you, don't open the door. And even if he's me...
But instead of backing down, the kids buried themselves deeper in a snowy grave.
And they were like, chill, bro, just chill. And then the one guy in the back seat, I don't know what, he was just cockier than his friends. He was like, fuck it, man. And I didn't notice his window was down. And he threw a snowball that hit me right in my chest. He said, fuck you, you fucking nigger.
Before anyone could wonder, however, Dave explained the reason behind his smile.
And I was happy as shit because throwing a snowball at a motherfucker is a misdemeanor assault. That's a felony hate crime.
Even if they were kids, Dave didn't pull his punches for racism. He even doubled down on a disabled congressman for his racist comments.
One time I was on Capitol Hill, and I seen a handicapped congressman, Madison Cawthorn, that's his name. He's a Republican from North Carolina, and he was shocked because I saw him, and I go, hello, Congressman.
Dave made it clear, however, that his punches don't come with ramps.
He didn't even know I knew who he was. He turned around. Then I just walked away. I wanted him to see me do something he couldn't do. I skipped, and he was mad.
And Dave's puns hit the congressman harder than a flight of stairs.
He's no longer a congressman. I don't know if you follow politics. I'm not trying to be funny, but he lost his seat. He ran a bad race. And you know what he did wrong? He was running for Congress again, and this motherfucker tried to be controversial.
When Madison started rolling out the tinfoil, though, Dave sent him off wrapped in it instead.
He was on all them right-wing podcasts talking all that shit. He was like, Washington is worse than Hollywood. I was at home like, what? He said, these people are disgusting. They have orgies and sex parties and drug parties. And I was thinking, this nigga sounds like Juicy Smouye.
And Dave exemplified how you can clap at a story while clowning on the storyteller.
He's lying. Now, I don't doubt that they do this kind of shit in Washington. But I doubt he's seen it with his own eyes. Because who the fuck invites a paraplegic to an orgy?
Before he moved on, though, Dave bent over to give Madison a crippling send-off.
I said, there's only one reason you're gonna invite him to an orgy. And you know what that is. Have at it, guys. I can't feel anything. Let's get this bill passed for America. One at a time, folks.
While Dave aimed at a government rep this time, even the anti-government racist crowd caught Dave's heat when they created one of America's worst riots.
You know, I'm from Washington, D.C. A lot of my friends growing up are Capitol Hill police officers. I said, what did you do that day? What did we do? We were kicking crackers down the steps like motherfucking 300, nigga. Trying to save our country.
But Dave wasn't finished with his reality checks for the Savage Raiders.
Watch the tapes. Watch that crowd that told Colin Kaepernick he can't kneel during a football game, try to beat a police officer to death with an American flag. Look at that shit.
And Dave had the perfect clapback ready for racist instigators.
What was that with Snowden talking about? Who is the terrorist now that they're looking for? It's you, not me. Not my black Muslim ass. It's you. Who are they militarizing the police for? They didn't call the National Guard on my black ass. It's you.
Not stopping there, Dave warned them they didn't just storm the Capitol, they stormed the limits of democracy too.
That's what white people did. They felt what black people have been feeling for 400 years. For 30 minutes, stormed the Capitol and rubbed their shit on the walls. They carried a fucking Confederate flag through the rotunda. The Confederate Army didn't even do that. Motherfuckers, you went very far.
Before moving on, though, Dave had one last go at the Capitol clowns.
Kidnapped us. They brought us here. They treated us like shit. And all the time that they did that, they were afraid that we would do what you would do in the same situation. But did we storm the halls of the Capitol and rub our shit on the walls? Well, of course not. If that would have worked, we would have tried it.
Dave dunked on the right-wing crowd offended by the new president, and a similar fate followed the outrage officers, triggered by one man's simple act of protest.
It took us 400 years to figure out as a people that white people's weakness the whole time was kneeling during their national anthem. That's a brittle spirit. That's right. On the Rockets, regular. Ah! What are you doing, nigga? Stand up!
With his genius, Dave came up with a master plan to take out all racists at once.
I kill every white person in America at one time. You know how I'd do it? I would just wait for the Super Bowl. And right when they sang the national anthem, I'd have O.J. Simpson walk to the 50-yard line. Is that O.J. Simpson on the field? What the hell is he doing here? Oh, I know what he's gonna do. Stop him!
And when the conversation moved to Me Too, he explained why black men weren't the usual victims.
A lot of black dudes haven't been getting Me Too. I don't want to jinx myself. Obviously, black women go through the same thing, right? The reason is because black women from slavery won't tell on us.
But Dave couldn't help but sneak a marital jab in between his serious commentary.
They know that no matter how bad we black dudes are, white dudes are very mean. They're scared to see us get punished. My wife is Asian. She'd tell on me in a goddamn second.
Not stopping there, Dave shared his fallout plan if his Ohio neighbors ever decide to eat the rich.
And the wildest shit about it is I live in Trump country. I live amongst the tiki torch whites. If it's ever pitchfork time, I'm in a lot of trouble. And nobody in my family believes me. I've been trying to tell the kids, man, we gotta run these drills. They're like, we don't want to run your stupid drills.
Fortunately, Dave already had his genius disguises prepared.
Too bad, son, you have to. Tiki torch whites come upside, what are you guys supposed to do? What are you guys supposed to do? Squint our eyes and stand next to mom. And what are you gonna bring me? Your gun and your groundskeeper uniform. That's right.
But while riots are still a distant problem, in another special, Dave shared a real concern about school shootings and rampant gun violence.
I've given this a lot of thought. I don't see any peaceful way to disarm America's whites. There's only one thing that's going to save this country from itself.
And Dave had the perfect plan to save America.
It is incumbent upon us to save our country. And you know what we have to do. This is a fucking election year. We got to be serious.
When Dave moved on to the heroin epidemic, though, he realized he had seen the movie before with a different cast.
This opioid crisis is a crisis. I see it every day. It's as bad as they say. It's ruining lives. It's destroying families. Sadly, you know what it reminds me of, seeing it?
And Dave realized that black and white weren't that different in the worst way possible.
And all this shit they talk about on the news about how divided the nation is, I don't believe it. I feel like nowadays we're getting a real good look at each other. It's wild because I even have insight into how the white community must have felt watching the black community go through the scourge of crack.
So it was only fair that Dave gave white people a taste of their own medicine.
Hang in there, whites. Remember when y'all said that to us? But it's okay. There's no grudges. Now you finally got it right. Once it started happening to your kids, you realize it's a health crisis. These people are sick. They are not criminals. They are sick.
But while Dave went easy on the white community's subtly insulting remarks, he went all out when a racist commentator disrespected a goat.
Ron James once said something about racism, and Laura Ingraham, which I will say publicly anywhere, anytime, is a cunt. Tell him I said it. Told one of Ohio's greatest residents ever.
And Dave ensured Laura's public destruction didn't get a commercial break.
My friend is the best at something. She's a regular ass white bitch and I use the word bitch all the time because this is black.
Moving his scope to other culprits, Dave exposed others who were sick with the racism disease.
We watched one shooting after another. Eric Garner in New York, the first guy that told the police, I can't breathe. Got murdered by one police officer while 5 of his fellow officers watched him.
And Dave reflected how the pettiest of crimes get the worst punishments if the criminal is black.
Not one of them said, Frank, take it easy, none of that shit. Because they were afraid if I correct my fellow officer on this camera, it's gonna open us up for some kind of liability. And the guy killed the person that they were, what do you call it, apprehending? The guy was selling loose cigarettes.
On a lighthearted note, cops weren't the only ones caught on camera, because when UFO videos started surfacing again, Dave was the one most inspired.
I also saw a lot of videos of UFOs. I mean, what the fuck has been going on with that shit? These niggas are here. These UFOs keep coming to Earth, and it made me think of an idea for a movie. In my movie idea, we find out that these aliens are originally from Earth.
And director Dave's plot only got better over time.
They're from an ancient civilization that achieved interstellar travel and left the Earth thousands of years ago. Some other planet they go to, and things go terrible for them in the other planet. So they come back to Earth, decide that they want to claim the Earth for their very own.
Little did the director know, though, that his 2021 joke would hit even harder in 2025.
I call it Space Jews. It's gonna get worse than that. Hang in there.
Moving on, Dave later cracked open a story that seemed innocent at first.
There was a black man who was in South Carolina during slavery who somehow got granted his freedom by his so-called master. And when his master granted him the freedom, he also gave him a plot of land. Now, it turns out this brother was brilliant, and he farmed this plot of land very successfully and made a lot of money.
But in seconds, the tale shifted from ordinary to outrageous.
When he got all that money, this nigga bought some slaves. Have you ever heard this before? This is a true story. Not only was he a slave owner, he became a slave breeder and employed tactics that were so cruel, even white slave owners were like, yo, my man.
And Dave could hardly process the guy's betrayal.
But he did it just because that's what successful people did at the time, and he just wanted to be down. What a fucking tragedy. How can a person that went through slavery perpetrate the same evil on a person that looks just like him? And, shockingly, they're making a movie about it.
But what seemed like a heavy story turned into an hour-long setup no one saw coming.
Ironically, it's called Space Jews.
As if roasting Jews wasn't already cancellation territory, Dave cranked it up by taking aim at Trump right after his first election.
Because I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, if you support him or not, any objective person is going to have to admit that this motherfucker is having a terrible go of it. We've had presidents before that have done bad jobs, but this shit is worse than a bad job.
After his questionable politics, Dave went after Trump's arithmetic next.
I've never seen somebody in the office so high with the most just basic fucking solutions. Like, you know, we should not let any more Muslims in the country till we can figure out what's going on. Did he just say, figure out what's going on?
And Dave immediately fact-checked Trump's subtle racism.
Let's count it out, okay? There's been 17 mass shootings in the United States. 4 of them were done by Muslims. None of those 4 Muslims were from any of the 7 countries in your stupid-ass original band. And since he brought it up, the other 13 shootings were done by the Tiki Torch whites.
To balance it out, Dave let loose some friendly fire as well.
You don't see me trying to ban white people from the show to keep the rest of the audience safe. It's a fucking terrible idea because it's mean and it's racist, and most importantly, it would be catastrophic to my bottom line.
And before shifting gears, Dave dropped an insightful lesson.
This man needs to realize that we all need each other. And that's why we will never, ever be able to beat China, because everybody in America is racist and everybody in China is Chinese. And don't believe the media either. The media is trying to make us believe that the extremities amongst us are the norm.
And it just goes to show that even the media isn't safe from Dave's annihilation against arrogant people.